Hey everyone, it's Rory from the Guitar Ninja, back again. I sent a message out to my current guitar students asking them what I should cover in this video, and one of the first things mentioned was funk. So I thought I would just go over some of the bits and bobs about funk music and how we can play that on the guitar the best way. So the first thing about funk is it's almost always in a clean tone. So this time I've got rid of my distortion from the normal ninja rock sound and we've got this nice clean tone. There might be a little bit of grit in there, but it's not as heavily distorted as most other genres. The next thing that's most iconic with the guitar work when we're playing funk is the 16th note. And if you notice there, I'm muting all of the strings. I've got my fingers resting on them, but we're not applying any pressure, just enough that the open string doesn't ring out. This is one of the most iconic things about funk, is this scratch or muted note. Now that we've got that, the next thing we've got to do is look at some of the things that make everything sound most funk. Now, there's a bassy sort of level of funk and there's a lead level. So the bass is more like your... that sort of funk, and then you've got your more leady, high-pitched funk, like... Let's start by going through the lead section. So like I said, we've got our muted notes and we've got our 16th sort of speeds. Trying to get that emphasis on those beats. That can help, first of all, just getting used to that sort of strumming technique. It's quite a fluid wrist movement. Then we're just going to bar our top 3 strings. So one finger playing the same fret on our first 3 strings. Now I'm just resting that on there, muting and squeezing down for the occasional note that I want to sound. If you notice, the notes all punch. I'm not letting them ring. I'm not going... because with the funk it always comes through more if every note's short and punchy. And I can mix up the rhythm. That sort of strumming pattern's staying the same, and I'm just changing which notes I'm squeezing enough to get a sound from. So you can really change how many notes we play there. So the next thing we want to do is we want to fit in a couple of extra notes to give us some sound. So on this one, on the 2nd string, I'm going to bring my little finger down. So for the place that I'm playing it now, I'm barring on 7th fret. So my little finger's going to come in on 10th and give me this chord. And then this will fit into the minor normally. We're actually then going to go back a fret with our ring finger. This sound puts us into a Dorian mode. Now, for those that don't understand modes, don't worry too much about this, but that Dorian mode is almost an iconic mode for funk. It's when I was playing that bass note, the note that stood out the most, that gave it that funk punch, that is our Dorian. Funk punch. That is my new one. Funk punch! Funk punch! Funk punch! Funk punch! So yeah, we're going to use that Dorian funk punch. So for now, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to mix in some of these notes with my little finger on 10th, on the 2nd string, or my ring finger on 9th on that 2nd string. One other step that I'd sometimes put in is a semitone slide. So if I'm playing there on the 7th fret, if I then come up from the 6th, that would just give me that little bit extra funk twist. Not so important for the genre itself, but I enjoy doing it. So that gives us that real mix. We've got our bar, our minor, our Dorian note, and that semitone with our 16th notes, and that will give us everything we need for a basic funk, high-pitched guitar sound. Yeah. Now with funk, I naturally go to the bass notes, in fact to the stage where I quite often end up on a bass guitar. Now the same method's going here. I'm playing a bass riff on the guitar effectively, and this is where I'd start with an octaves. So if I'm going from the 7th, so we're in the same key, this is all in B Dorian. So you can think of this as B minor, but with one note changed effectively. So we're going to start with our root note. Now we're going to find our next root. So this is when we go down 2 strings and up 2 frets. That gives us an octave. So they're both going to be a B in this situation. Now I'm still kind of in that rhythm in my head of that those 16ths. I'm just now not doing the muted notes, because on the lower ones it can kind of sound a bit messier. Like if I try it. I suppose it kind of works, but it's down to your opinion. I'm not a massive fan of those scratchy sounds on the bassier end of funk. So we've got these octaves. Now, the thing that I was saying before is that Dorian sound that gives it the extra funk. So now from these octaves, on that 4th string, that note that we're playing the octave, on our D string, we're playing that now on 9th fret. I'm going to bring it down to the 7th fret. So that's still within the minor. But then I'm going to go back one more semitone to the 6th fret. And that's our Dorian note. That's the one that's going to make this really funk punch! Funk punch! Funk punch! So that's the one that's really going to make us funk punch. Notice how I even brought the thumb over there to play that note. It's personal choice. I wouldn't necessarily advise it if you're early to it. I mean, we could always get our fingers all in place and not have to move at all. But trying to release that note and make it punch more is a bit difficult. So I'm trying to find that best way to get the notes to still punch through. So there we are, we've now got 2 different layers that we can mix around with. Now they would work over the top. So we could have this bass, and then over the top of that we could put our lead section. So as I was saying, this can transfer completely to the bass. Pew! Magical guitar change. So we are now on the bass guitar. Now this is the exact same method. That's I'm either doing a normal thumb pick, walking, or a slap on the bass. Then I'm going to go for a nice loud pop. For those that want to play bass, we're going to get the finger right in the string. Now, if you're a guitarist, don't do this. Please don't ever go under the string and pull a string out on a guitar. However, on the bass, that pop sound can be amazing. So the same rhythm that I was doing on the guitar, trying to play it in a more guitar-y way. Now if we bass it up, we get this far more punchy funk punch! Funk punch! Funk punch! Now I love that sound of funk on the bass, it's just something that I've always enjoyed. Gotta get that funk neck in as well. Okay, 16th notes with that bucka-chicka, 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 bucka-chicka. Going for our muted notes most of that time so we get that scratch sound, then just squeezing down enough pressure to get the occasional note out. That's our first touch. From that 3-string bar, we can then add our little finger and ring finger on the 2nd string to give us that minor, and then our Dorian that's going to give the funk twist. We can even add in that 1-fret slide at the bar to give us some extra funk tones. Then we've got our octaves with our bass, and again going down to that Dorian note to give us that funk. Hopefully that's everything that you guys need. If you've got any questions, anything you think I haven't covered, please comment it below. Ask me and I'll fire back what I can. And if you haven't, then please subscribe, like, comment, all of that madness that you know all about from all the other channels. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Funk punch!
Funk punch!